Hey guys, Renni here. I'm going to tell you about the states I've visited and about some cool places I've been to in those states. My family and I have been fortunate enough to travel this country. If I'm counting them correctly, we've been to 38 states. All by car! The good thing is you get to see the country, but the bad thing is you're traveling by car, so it takes hours, if not days, to reach some of these places. As you guys know, I live in Oklahoma, which is in the center of the country, so it takes quite a while to get to the east or west coast. I learned something from grade school. It's the 50 Nifty United States song, so now I can say these states in order. So come join me on a road trip. Okay, we're gonna start off with Alabama. Now in Alabama, I went to a cool underground cave. In Arizona, I went to the Grand Canyon. It's a big hole in the ground. Now Arkansas, we just normally drive through that state and we don't really stop for anything, so I can't really say anything about Arkansas, unfortunately, but I have been there. In California, we went to a beach in Santa Cruz. We got to see the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. We just drove through Connecticut, 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on the interstate, yikes. I guess they want you to stay in the state as long as you can since it's so small. I stayed in Delaware for a whole whopping 10 minutes as we were driving from Philly to Washington, D.C. In Georgia, we visited Atlanta, and we visited the Coke factory. No, not that kind of Coke, you sillies. The kind you drink. And there you can sample all the Coke products from all over the world. I have a lot of family in Illinois, so we visit that state a lot. I got to go to the Garden of the Gods. Oh, Indiana is another one of those states where you just drive through, to be honest. Yeah. Iowa's the same way, but I just gotta say they're very proud of their barns and silos. A lot of corn's grown there. In Kansas, I went to Kansas City and we had some Kansas City barbecue. It was very yummy. I went to a convention in Louisville, Kentucky, and we had quite a good time there. I do have some family in Louisiana, but it's been literally 20 years since I've been there. Okay, so when we went to Maine, we just entered the state, exited just so we can add the state. My family does that kind of stuff. In Maryland, I went to a dinner theater. We went to Boston and Massachusetts, and we took a duck tour and we saw a lot of the local sites. So I got to see where the Boston Massacre happened. Minnesota's the same with Maine. We just went into that state and we exited just to say we added the state. In Mississippi, it's another one of those states where you just drive through. There's nothing there. In Missouri, we went to St. Louis. And we went up inside the Gateway Arch. You get in these little itty bitty elevators called pods, and you go to the top. You can feel the arch kind of sway back and forth while you're up there. It's kind of scary, not to mention tall if you're afraid of heights. We went to Omaha in Nebraska. We drove across New Hampshire, same with New Jersey. Oh, in New Mexico, I gotta tell you about two cool places I've been to there. So I went to Carlsbad Caverns and there's like a few miles of underground caves there. And at night there'd be like 100,000 bats flying out of the cave. It's quite a sight. I also went to White Sands in Alamogordo. It's just like a whole bunch of white sand in the middle of the desert, and it's kind of cool because it looks like snow. But I gotta tell you, it was hot that day we were there. It wasn't very cold at all. Nothing like snow. Yeah. While we were in New York, we visited Niagara Falls. And on a little side note, we got to take a boat into the falls, and they give you these ponchos to wear so that you won't be drenched from all of the water coming off the falls. And while you're on the boat, it crosses into Canada, so I've been to Ontario and Canada. North Carolina is another one of those states where we entered just to say we've been there and we exited right afterwards. We drove through Ohio, Oklahoma. Okay, welcome to my little neck of the woods. I've been to Turner Falls, which is the largest waterfall in the state. It's a whole whopping 77 feet tall, so I guess that's something. In Pennsylvania, I visited Independence Hall in Philadelphia. It was so cool to see where the Declaration of Independence was signed. And while I was in Philly, I got to sample an authentic Philly cheesesteak, and it was the worst Philly cheesesteak I ever had. Oh, in Rhode Island, we were in that state literally for about 10 minutes as we were driving across it to get to Boston. We drove through Providence, though. In South Dakota, we got to visit Mount Rushmore. In Tennessee, we got to visit Gatlinburg, which is the home of Dolly Parton and Dollywood. And also in Gatlinburg is a large Titanic museum. If you guys didn't already know, I'm a humongous Titanic fanatic, and it was pretty cool to see some of the artifacts in there, although it's also kind of solemn as well, you know. Oh, I just love Texas a lot. My family's been all over Texas, and I really want to move there in the near future. We got to visit and go inside the Alamo in San Antonio. Okay, so I've only been about 20 feet into Utah, but we visited Four Corners, which is where the four states of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona meet. So you can stay in 4 states at one time. We drove across southern Vermont, and there's a reason why it's called the Green Mountain State. That state is so rocky, it's almost like driving across a mountain. So in Virginia, I got to visit Mount Vernon, which was the home of our first president, George Washington. Washington, D.C. was also a lot of fun. I got to stay there for a whole week on a voyage trip. We did a lot of stuff, but I'm just going to name a few places we visited. We didn't go in the White House, but we got to see the White House. We went to the National Archives, where we saw the Declaration of Independence. We went to the Library of Congress, and we got to meet our representative and one of our senators in their offices. In West Virginia, we drove across a tiny little sliver between Ohio and Pennsylvania, but we did drive through a town called Wheeling, which looked really cool to me. And finally, in Wyoming, we visited Cheyenne. Well, that's a lot of traveling, isn't it? Especially by car, oh my gosh. Changing direction here, I have a very big and exciting announcement to make. I finally have a P.O. box. Yes, that's right. If you want, you can send me stuff. I'd really appreciate some artwork from you all so I can hang it on this door and on this wall. And I know some of you would like to make me some badges because you mentioned that already, but you can finally send them to me now. So yeah, just make me a badge if you want as well, and I'll be sure to wear it at cons. And you can also send me some packages as well. It's not limited to things you can only fit inside an envelope. As you guys probably know, I have a newfound addiction called Warframe. I think it'd be so cool if I could play that with you guys on a stream. That game takes up a lot of graphics and RAM, so I don't know what the frame rate would be, but at least we would have fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, stay awesome, stay fluffy, and of course, stay furry. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye!